Good evening and welcome to Sports Federation TV. My name is Alton Davids. I'll be your host. The show is about what we do at Western Cape level, at Cape Town level, how we grow sport and what makes sport exciting in Cape Town. Tonight's show is all about gymnastics and hockey. I'm joined in the studio by the newly elected chairperson of Cape Town Gymnastics. Warren, how are you?
Very well, thanks, and you?
Good?
Good.
Congratulations on your new post. Is it been fun thus far?
Yeah, it's got its challenges, but I think it's going to be a good one. We've got some new ideas that we're hoping to put into play, so yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
We'll keep an eye on those new ideas.
Yeah, thanks.
And Vermaak, welcome back. Are you well?
Thank you. Always great to be on the show.
How's players?
Yeah, it's going great. Great guns this year. Lots of development.
Okay, we'll chat about players a bit later. Warren, tell us a bit about Cape Town Gymnastics. Where is it at the moment?
Well, I think we definitely always need to start at our developing stages. So there's a lot of focus going into the younger kids. There's different high performance streams that we're busy putting together. And then in terms of our intermediate levels, we've got a lot of national competitors. They get their provincial colours each year and compete at our national champs. And we're starting to have some international athletes in the younger levels as well. So it's great exposure for them. They get to travel to different places. So we're pushing that as much as we can. But it's going good.
And it's all about commitment from club level all the way up.
Yeah, the thing is, the clubs need to work together. We need to realize that we're a province trying to compete at that national level. So that's where we are at. We've got squad training set up for district and for provincial level. So it's going good.
Good. And maybe you should give us an overview of the different disciplines within gymnastics. I mean, it's a huge sport.
It is. It's like 8 different sports in one. So we have artistic men's gymnastics, artistic women's gymnastics, and that's what you really see at the Olympics. We have rhythmic gymnastics, which is the balls, ropes, hoops. That's also what you see at the Olympics. We have trampoline gymnastics, which is made up of trampoline and tumbling, and you'll see trampoline at the Olympics. And then there is aerobic gymnastics, acrobatic gymnastics, gym for all, and in South African gymnastics there's also rope skipping. So those are all the different disciplines that you can do.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, eh?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't envy your job one bit.
Thanks.
you just need to coordinate all the different committees, I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty much just make sure everyone works together. But the great thing about having all these different disciplines is there's literally something for everyone. So you've got your community members who are well into their 70s doing the gym for all, just to keep active. So it really is good that we do explore all the different disciplines in gymnastics.
And the nice thing about gymnastics for me is that from a 5-year-old, or maybe even younger, I don't know anymore, from a 5-year-old all the way up until 95-year-old, you can participate in gymnastics.
Absolutely.
All the different disciplines.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely this. Any age you are, you can still keep active, you can still keep healthy. And that's, I think, what the FIG, who's the International Council, that's really what they wanted to do by creating all these disciplines.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at Kirsten Beckett and see what her routine was at the Commonwealth Games. Let's check this out.
The turn of Kirsten Beckett from the Republic of South Africa. Kirsten Beckett finishing on floor. 18-year-old. Welcome to her.
That was quite something else.
Yeah.
So take us through a bit of the dynamics in that routine.
Okay, so with women's gymnastics, you need to have a combination of tumbling passes. You'll see she opens up with, it's an E-rated tumbling pass. It's quite difficult. And then they've got to do jumps, leaps, turns, and all of that combined will then add to a D score. So you've got one panel that works out the difficulty, and then they deduct it. There's another panel that's got a E score deduction, which is basically all the little things that go wrong. But Kirsten, I mean, she's great on floor. She's the African champion on floor. She's the African champion all round. She's really one of the best gymnasts to ever come out of South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much time does one need to spend to get to that level? Or am I asking how long is a piece of string?
45 hours a day, 6 days a week. They can do multiple training sessions.
Does she work?
Well, she matriculated last year, so
Okay.
I think she's busy studying, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so what is our level at South African level when we participate internationally? How do we compare?
So at these Commonwealth Games, Claudia was in 3 finals.
Okay.
So that, so basically she was in the top 8 of the Commonwealth countries in those things. And in vault she actually qualified in 3rd place. So she's very high up. And at World Cup she's also won medals. And our girls are consistently making finals at World Cup events. So they're consistently in the top 8 when they go to international World Cup events. So our girls have been doing extremely well when they go overseas.
And that's purely based on the fact that you have high performance at club level to a point, and then you have it at district level, and then at Western Cape level. I know you have a high performance training camp often as well.
Yeah.
Which then builds into the national.
And they have national training camps as well, where all the coaches work together, and the top coaches from Gauteng are coming down to Western Cape and working with the squad. So there really is a transfer of knowledge going around the whole country, which is really helping a lot. And SAGF also has a international program and liaison with USA Gymnastics. So some of the top Olympic coaches, like Olympic gold medal winning coaches, have come out to South Africa running national coaching clinics. So there really is quite a diverse input of knowledge into South Africa.
Because I think that's the key, is that you have the international experience coming here. Because yes, we may have the skill, but we don't teach them correctly and take them to that level. We're never going to get there. And with the coaching and the judging that comes from with the experience from overseas, it does help.
Well, you're learning from people who've been there. So they've been doing it for years. I mean, Kelly Hill was recently here, and she had Olympic gymnasts in the 80s and 90s. So it's definitely, you're learning from people who have done it all before, and that's the only way we're going to move it forward, is by taking that advice, taking that knowledge, putting it into our junior programs and working it through from there.
So you were telling us about this young lady that's had all these athletes from the US that's come over.
Yeah.
How long was her training program that she presented here?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was about a week program. So the top coaches from each province went through to the South African Gymnastics Federation training facility in Centurion. And she just went, it was full day courses. So the kids are there, they got breaks. So the gymnasts got first-hand experience, what it's like being coached from this international coach. I mean, she's a legend within our fraternity. So to have her coming here is just really, really good for us. And before that, it was Mihai Breston. He was a coach for one of the girls who won the Olympic gold on floor and the Olympic team final. So it's a wealth of knowledge that is coming through to the guys in Cape Town, or to South Africa, excuse me. So it's great.
Has the level of judging changed from late 90s to 2000s? Because I mean, you're talking about someone who's had Olympic medalists in the past,
Throughout.
and now we're going in 2015. Has the standard changed, and have they obviously moved up with that?
Well,
from a technical point of view, I'm assuming they have.
Yeah.
But what has there been significant differences?
Well, there's no more perfect 10, and I think that's what a lot of people are confused about, because back in the day when Nadia Comaneci got that perfect 10, people don't see that anymore. Now you're seeing scores high into the 15s and 16s, and it goes back to the 2 different panels. So you've got your D panel, which works out your difficulty, and then that execution starts at 10, and that's when they start the deduction. So it's higher scores. They needed to differentiate between gymnasts who are doing very difficult elements compared to the not so much. I think it was after 2004 Olympics they changed that.
Okay. Because like you say, the perfect 10 still rings a bell, and that's how, like you say, that's how people understand gymnastics. You score out of 10, and now you're seeing these double figures and you think like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, it is confusing. I think in the fraternity there's a lot of people who want to go back to the perfect 10, but you need to, as I said, distinguish between someone who's doing really high difficulty elements, they need to be awarded for that. So that's why it did change.
And these guys are obviously proficient at what they're doing to have a difficulty level and an execution level.
That's right. So you have
Solid.
to toss up between, do you do it perfectly with a lower difficulty, or do you make some execution mistakes and put in the higher difficulty? And in the end, the people who are winning are doing it perfectly and with extremely high difficulty. And it's just seeking that absolute perfection with incredible difficulty. It's mind blowing.
But it still allows you for that freedom of expression. So there's no, yes, you've got a kind of set routine, but it's not set in that you've got to follow a sequence. As long as you execute certain technical moves. Am I correct?
No, absolutely. There's different components between each apparatus that you need to fulfill. So look at them as groups. So you got the forward tumbling, backward tumbling, stuff like that. So, but by selecting these elements, you get your routine together, and you just got to make sure you're performing that to the best of your abilities. And it's artistic gymnastics afterwards, so you got to be, that presentation and artistry is big in our sport.
And you spoke about the coaching. So does the coach determine the routine, or the athlete, or is it a combination? How do you mix the two?
I think it kind of depends on the age and the personality of the gymnast. You know, you might get a lot more input from the gymnast, but in the end, it really is a coach-led sport, and your coach really plays a pivotal role in the guidance and direction of the gymnast. And in the end, the gymnast might feel that they can perform a certain element fine, and the coach can say, whoa, listen, it's really not actually that good. So it really is a coach orientated, and you have to, like, your coach is almost like your parents. They're your other parents, and they're just, because you probably see them more than you see your own parents. So it really is about a trusting relationship, but you have to have that two-way trust between them.
Absolutely. You spoke predominantly about ladies. Let's check out a guy doing floor routine. Let's check this out.
On pommel horse, we have Paniotis Aristotelos from Cyprus and on wing Alex Hedges from the Isle of Man. Just finishing on vault, gymnastics has to do a couple of vaults each and slightly longer sometimes on bars as they have 50 seconds to short up and adjusted bars per gymnast.
As you can see, even young men can do gymnastics. Let's take an ad break and we'll see you now. Welcome back to Sports Federation TV. We're chatting gymnastics. I'm joined in studio by a young man, newly elected chairperson of Cape Town Gymnastics. I'm going to use this a lot, Warren, just because I can.
I see, sir.
And so tell us a bit about where clubs are based and where facilities are within the metro.
So within the metro, there are clubs almost everywhere, southern suburbs, town, northern suburbs. But because of all the vast differences in the disciplines, they don't all offer all the disciplines. So depending on what discipline you're looking for will depend in what area there are clubs. So there tend to be quite a few more gymnastics clubs in the northern suburbs than in the southern suburbs. In general, just the challenge is always a facility. And, you know, especially artistic gymnastics, there's a heck of a lot of equipment. And very few gymnastics clubs have the privilege of having a permanent venue where they can have a permanent setup. So that means that they're having to take down all this equipment and put it back up again every day that they have training to facilitate other sports or things in their venues. So it's quite a challenge with facilities for gymnastics, and it does pose quite a threat for our sport.
Particularly if you look at a high bar that needs to be anchored and those kinds of things. A pit as another example, even a trampoline that needs to be secure, just from a safety point of view.
Well, we don't have a facility in the Metropole with a pit, so that is a huge challenge for our high level gymnasts. Although SAGF has a venue in Philippi, we still don't have a pit within that venue in order for the kids to be able to train. So that's one huge challenge. But in the same respect for our competitions, it's also a huge threat because we struggle to find venues that allow us to put the points in that allow for spectators to come and watch. So, we're very grateful we've just secured the sports school to support us for this year for our competitions, and we're hoping to make a longer term relationship with them. But it was a severe threat to our sport this year for our artistic gymnasts as to where they can actually compete and people can come and watch them.
I mean, it was ideal last year at the Bellville Velodrome because you had everything in one venue, and it was perfect because you had the bars, the rings, everything. And now because of the safety issue, everything needs to be secured in the ground.
Yeah, there's certain regulations that all apparatus need to be set at. I know we did have difficulties with the floors, and so it has been a struggle, but we always do seem to make a plan. But the Velodrome was ideal, but unfortunately I don't think that's an option anymore. No. But hopefully we'll find something similar to that going forward.
Absolutely. Let's check out this high bar and see how this young man plays with it.
You can't be 100% concentrated 100% of the time. Your brain would be run out of gas halfway through the process.
That's right, that's the dilemma.
Grobler.
Scrappy on the catch. And straight forwarding over the top. Awkward grip. You want to try it at home. Small fingers together, really is very awkward, especially swinging around a bar. But one of the requirements. There it is again. He's comfortable there. Using his body to create somersault effectively.
Well done to Tian Grobler.
I'm going to have arms like Tian.
One day.
One day. How much training does one need to put in to get to a level like that? I mean, obviously you don't just do gymnastics, you do gym work as well to get to that kind of physique.
Well, a lot of them will have different sessions. So they'll do a morning session, which is more like your strength training and flexibility training, and their main training session will be in the afternoon, which is about 4 to 4.5 hours long. And it's about 5 to 6 times a week. A lot of hours into that.
A lot of hours. Young lady, tell us a bit about Flares. What's happening at Flares?
So, well, we've had a lot going on this year. We opened a new branch, and we've changed our format a little bit. So we're doing the speed challenge this year together with our winter display. So we're kind of bringing our rope skipping family together with our general Flares family all together for the first time. So we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a very, very exciting day, but probably quite stressful for us behind the scenes.
So explain the concept of the day.
So basically what's going to happen is we always have a winter and a summer display where our gymnasts who come for their weekly training sessions show off some of their skills that they've been learning to their parents and their parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, brothers, sisters. They can all come watch. And then we've always had the speed challenge separately, which is inviting all the rope skippers from around the Western Cape and who really come from the townships to come and compete to be crowned the king or queen of speed. So they do skipping as quickly as they can in 3 different sections. So 30-second speed, 30 seconds double under, so 2 turns of the rope under each jump, and then 3 minutes of speed. So now we're putting it all together. So we always have a very interactive audience participated program. So there'll be some parts where the parents have to stand up and get involved and learn some stuff, and we'll be recording that and sending it to Michelle Obama in America, because we have a concept that we have behind this winter display. And then we have from the 2-year-olds showing off their different aerobic dances, as well as their gymnastics moves that they're already doing with their parents on the stage. And it works all the way through to the teenagers. And then in between their different shows, we will have the skippers coming up onto stage and being jumped and doing their various forms of rope skipping. And you can't understand it unless you experience it, as to how brilliant these skippers are. They're amazing. In 4 minutes, they do like over 500 skips. And when we say 500, right leg, left leg is 1.
Wow.
So it's basically 1,000 steps between the 4 minutes that they have to compete, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. We teach the audience to judge, and then they have to try and judge with the judges, and those that get it on target or the closest to it win prizes. So they really learn a lot. They get to come up on stage and do a bit of skipping and try and figure it out. And I mean, we've had world champions from Kailicha, gold medalists in speed. So our kids are brilliant.
Now imagine you translate that and you take that fleet-footedness and put them on a running track. Imagine that. Just a thought. Let's check out the footage and see what it's really all about. quite interesting to see those youngsters attempting to skip with 2 legs. I could barely see the rope. Is there a special kind of rope, or is it a normal skipping rope?
So it's not a normal skipping rope. They do get specific ropes. So not what you would buy in the shops. So they do get specific ropes for rope skipping, but your top guys even make their ropes out of wire so that it goes even faster, so that it can just keep up with how fast they really are.
Is it legal though at international level?
It is legal at international level, as far as I know. It really is just about how quick you can do it, but you also bear the consequences of rather painful cuts if you get stuck.
Yeah, rather not.
No,
And that's also
not
the
for
one
me.
Oak had tights on.
Yeah.
Just for safety.
Just in case.
Yeah, and also I think keep your muscles warm
Yep.
and everything in between. So they'll do anything.
So tell us where the event is happening. How
So
can people
the-
come and support it?
The event is next week Saturday at Bergfleet High School. It starts at 9:30. Door entry is 30 Rand, and children are for free. And it's going to be about 3 hours of a whole bunch of gymnastics fun.
What's from what time?
9:30,
9:30 till 12:30.
12:30, yeah.
Lots to buy, to eat on the side.
There'll be a tuck shop that you can keep yourself well stocked at.
Good. So I ain't gonna be skipping. I'd much rather come sit and watch. Why don't you tell us what else is happening at Cape Town Gymnastics? What's next on the agenda?
Well, we actually have trials this weekend. So these are the Western Cape trials for your high-level kids, because we're hosting nationals in June. So
Where will that be?
nationals is on the 5th and 6th of June. It's also going to be at the Western Cape Sports School in Kales River. That's where our Western Cape trials are this weekend now. So Saturday and Sunday the boys are competing, and Saturday all the girls are competing as well. So it all kicks off tomorrow with the preps, and it's going to be a good competition.
Can anybody come and watch it?
Absolutely, it's 25 Rand entrance fee, and kids are also free. That's for your national games. And I think nationals, it's going to be a great time for people in the Cape to actually see it, because we haven't had high performance nationals here ever. Ever since we've split it.
Yep.
So the kids are looking forward to it. It's going to be your gymnasts that you've seen on the TV now. It's going to be Kirsten, all the top girls and boys. So it's really, really going to be a good event.
So this weekend is the Western Cape trials at the sports school out in Nooiensfontein Road in Kales River. Next weekend is the speed skating. 2 weeks later is the
National
national
championships.
champs. Do you guys ever have a break?
No.
Hey?
Never,
Not
and
really.
then we start with district trials 2 weeks after that, and then
It's on.
Sure.
Busy calendar.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Keeps you busy.
Keeps you busy,
Absolutely.
man. It's good.
Absolutely.
It's good.
Guys, thank you for your time. It's been fun. We've learnt a bit about gymnastics, and we will come and support your events. And if you got nothing else to do, every weekend for the next 3 weekends is gymnastics. Check it out. Let's take a short ad break. We'll be back.